mama yake alijitoa uhai ama watoto wao walijitoa uhai. Kwa hivyo tunaambiwa kwamba wako na shetani, wako na pepo ambayo itakushika. Usiende ukaoleke huko, usiwe marafiki na hao, usiwe una associate na hao. We need to tone down on the stigma around suicide. Suicide is a way of death. Nimewaambia.
Hello guys, it's your girl Patience Saitans. Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscription box and put on the notification bell so that you don't forget any time I post a new video. You know I'm the queen of one and gossip. So welcome to today's video. Don't forget to like and leave a comment in the comment section.
Thank you guys. Let's tap the screen. Today I'm gonna be talking about suicide. Now I'm gonna talk about this because it's the discussion that's currently going on, and before I start talking about this, I have received messages and screenshots from friends of the lady that passed away, the one that took away her life. And I opened this live specifically because I want to talk about suicide. Trigger warning, dear TikTok. I am going to be talking about mental health, depression, suicide, bipolar. I would like for you to protect this live and allow this conversation to go on because it is important. Guys, something happened yesterday that we need to talk about, so please tap the screen, share this live with your friends who could be struggling with their mental health, struggling with thoughts of suicide. Please share this live with them, share this live with as many people as possible, and also share this live with Nyaboke if she's here. I am so interested in showing her support and showing her love. Share this live with the friends and the younger generations, Gen Z, because it's important that we have these conversations. Okay, it is important for us to talk about these things. As Kenyans, we need to talk about these things. We don't talk about mental health and mental illness as much as we should on TikTok or on social media platforms. This is an opportunity for us to have this discussion, and would love for you guys to continue tapping the screen, heart me the host, and share this live with as many people as possible, because I feel like this is a discussion that we need to have. It is timely and it's important for us to do this as Kenyans, as women, as mothers, as people who are gonna be helping shape up the future generations, because we are millennials. So we need to actually share a few things or experiences that we have had with this situation or this issue, and that is the reason why I opened this live. There is a lady who is supposed to be okay. Wait, Nani, you know yourself. If you are here, just send your request when you are ready, but you'll allow me to first talk, and is when you can come up and talk. And tumeshaongea, and you know very well this live particularly is not going to be pointing fingers, condemning, harming, blaming, or putting anybody down. We are having a discussion about mental illness and suicide, and it's important that we do that because we rarely talk about these issues, and it's for many reasons which I'm going to be discussing with you here. So kwa hivyo tapuru, tuendelee vizuri, tuweke mziki kidogo mkiendelea kutap, so that tujielimishe. Sio kila siku tutakuwa tunakuja hapa kwa matusi na kuchambana. Ni important that we enlighten ourselves. We can have other discussions rather than the normal issues that we discuss here on TikTok. So wacha tuendelee. I'll put some music. Guys, good morning everybody. Thank you so much for coming to this live. Thank you so much for all of the people that have been tapping and sharing. Guys, this is a sensitive live, so it's important for us to keep it up here. I want to talk about suicide, and trigger warning. This conversation might make some of you uncomfortable. Please, if this is a conversation you do not want to be a part of, kindly just leave the live. And it's important for you to protect yourself and protect your mental health. I first of all would love to convey my condolences to the family of Nyaboke Moraa'S. I am truly sorry, and I feel sorry about your loss. I do hope that you find a great support system, that you find people that are going to surround you with love and help you navigate and go through this difficult period. There is nothing that is as difficult for any mother to lose a child. Losing a child is difficult. It does not matter the situation that was there between a mother and their child. What we are talking about here first is just conveying my condolences for the fact that she has lost a child. Losing a child is very difficult. It's painful. Grief is painful. It's difficult to navigate. Those of you who have lost children, I'm sure understand what I'm talking about. I have personally lost 2 children, so I know what it means to lose a child, and I know where that can put you. It is difficult. Grief is hard, and if you followed Nyaboke's story, you know that this has been quite a difficult year for her. She has lost a lot of family members. Recently, she lost a brother. She lost other people also in the past years. It's been difficult. It's been hard. So yesterday, guys, we woke up to the news that she had lost her daughter, and we did not know what had happened to her daughter. We did not know. We were not aware. We had not been told what had happened to her child. At that moment, there was just a posting that happened on Facebook. I think I saw it from Sandra Dacha that she had lost her daughter. And for that, I'm conveying my condolences. So the reason why I have opened this live, apart from conveying the condolences to Nyaboke Moraa'S, is to talk about suicide, because today morning when I woke up, I got information when I went to Achibri's live. I got to hear details about the friends of her daughter talking about the relationship that was there and the situations that were there between her and her mom, and that those issues could have possibly built up and put her in a place where she felt it was not important for her to continue being with us in this world. And now I open this live because as a person that has struggled with her mental health, and I have struggled with my mental health and my mental illness for several years. This is something that I have been open about. Those of you who have followed me from Facebook, I have talked about my situations and how much I have struggled with my mental health and mental illness. Had it not been that I am in a country where these services are available and I have access to psychiatrists and therapists and medications, I probably would not be here today to talk about what I'm going to talk about. I have personally attempted to take my life 9 times. And the last time it was so bad that I had to be institutionalized. I was hospitalized in a hospital here, St. Luke's, where I stayed for several weeks, and I had to get different therapies. Mental illness is something that is real. It's a conversation that is necessary in Kenyan spaces and on social media. A lot of people like to come here and make fun of mental illness. Nimeona watu wengi kila mara mingi watu wanaongelelea hapa, oh, huyo ni bipolar, huyo ni ajiue, ati ukipenda ujitie kitanzi. Mnapenda sana kutumia maneno kama hayo, lakini you don't know the gravity of those words and what it does. I just want to mention a little bit about suicide, and I think it's important for us as Africans, especially Kenyans, to accept that it is also a way of death. Kuna watu ambao wanaamua ya kwamba hawataki kuendelea kuishi na sisi hapa kwa dunia, na wana choose to just take their lives kwa sababu it is the only way they feel and they deem fit for them to be okay. hiyo ni kitu sisi kama watu wa Afrika tunafaa kukua tuko able to accept ya kwamba the stigma around suicide needs to actually tone down, because when we were growing up we were taught and we were told a lot of things about suicide. Tukaambiwa ya kwamba wale watu ambao wanajitoa uhai ni na boma ambazo watu wanajitoa uhai at they are sort of like kind of cursed and there's something wrong with them, and that we need to stay away from these people and these individuals, and we need not to associate with them kwa sababu ni watu ambao wako na pepo na mashetani na si watu wazuri, na kwamba hata hatufai kuoleka huko. Hata mpaka wasai kuna boma ambazo kama kuna watu walijitoa uhai, unaambiwa ya kwamba usiende kuoleka huko kwa sababu kijana wao alijitoa uhai, ama mama yake alijitoa uhai, ama watoto wao walijitoa uhai. Kwa hivyo tunaambiwa kwamba wako na shetani, wako na pepo ambayo itakushika, usiende ukaoleke huko, usiwe marafiki na hao, usiwe una associate na hao. We need to tone down on the stigma around suicide. Suicide is a way of death. Nimewambia, just like malaria ni kitu ambayo inaua watu, suicide is also a way of death. People choose to take their lives, and there are many reasons that can put people in that place. So many reasons. People who have either struggled with childhood traumas, a lot of things that have happened in their lives. People who have either been hurt by cyberbullying, because it is one of the #1 causes of suicide, especially here in America. Cyberbullying here, body shaming. Hizo ndo vitu zinafanya watu wanatoa uhai hapa, kwa sababu the reason why somebody decides that they no longer want to be on earth or they no longer want to be with people is because they have been made to feel they are worthless. They have been made to feel that they are no longer beautiful, they are ugly, they are not good to look at, they no longer need to be with people, na hawatakikani, they are not acceptable, they are unwanted, and they no longer fit in society. That is what happens when people decide to take out their lives. It's because people have created labels and narratives around them and defined them in ways that are derogatory and ways that are dehumanizing, and have reduced them to a place where they no longer want to fight back or defend themselves. They just want to remove themselves from the equation. That is what happens when someone decides to take their life, and hence suicide. So there's so many reasons that contribute to it, and I'm gonna just talk about it as this angle as a parent, because so many of us grew up in an era where our mothers used to beat us. When you did something wrong, unachapwa, unatandikwa. Walimu walikuwa wanatuchapa, wazazi walikuwa wanatuchapa, hata ndugu yako anakuchapa. Kuna wengine wetu hapa, we grew up in systems and settings where if your parent is not able to beat you, your big brother is beating you. Your big brother anaambiwa akuchape, akudiscipline on behalf of your parent. And that is what used to happen to a lot of us here, because we grew up in a setting where discipline was in form of physical. Unajua, wazazi, walimu wanachukua bakora, mapera, unacharazwa na mapera, unacharazwa na mshipi, unatandikwa, unapigwa hata na mwiko. Nakumbuka vizuri sana, hata mwiko, rolling pin ya chapati, ukiwa unafundishwa kupika chapati, unachapwa na wazazi na rolling pin ya mwiko na chapati, unapigwa mikono hizi ndio ufanye nini, ujue kupika. Tulikuwa tunapigwa, and that's the truth. A lot of African parents walikuwa wanachapa watoto. Waya za stima, zile kamba za stima za black, zilikuwa zinatolewa, unachapwa nazo. Kulikuwa mpaka na wazazi wameweka belt ya kuchapa watoto, specific ya kuchapa watoto. Zilikuwa hapo hizo belt. Unacharazwa na hizo belt, unapigwa na belt mpaka ile pati ya chuma ndio unachapwa nayo. Bamboo stick, viboko za mapera zilikuwa zinakatwa na zinawekwa kwa sababu ulikuwa unafaa kuwa unapigwa na unacharabwa. Unasikia? So the thing is, we grew up in a setting where we were taught that discipline was physical. Discipline was physical. It was not about conversations. Very few of us had conversations with our parents about anything. If you had a boyfriend, unapigwa. Ukiongea na mwanaume, unapigwa. Mwanaume akikuandikia barua, unapigwa. Hizi barua za high school tulikuwa tunaandikiwa, zilikuwa zinasomwa mpaka kwa parade. Kwa high school, mabarua, walimu walikuwa wanatoa mabarua, wanasoma mbele ya watu kwa parade. Unakuwa disciplined, unakuwa dehumanized in front of people. Teachers, a lot of the reasons why we are how we are today is because it is layers and layers of trauma that we gathered from our households into the institutions that we went to. The high schools in Kenya, they were very terrible. Most of the high schools had physical abuse. Wasichana walikuwa wanafinywa mpaka matiti. Na kama ni uongo mniambie hapa. I went to one of the most prestigious high schools. Na nakumbuka one of the most traumatizing events yenye ilinifanyikiwa nikiwa Kenya High School was the Rebels Night. Ilikuwa inaitwa Rebels Night. Wasichana walikuwa wanawekwa Kenya High School. Tulikuwa tunawekwa, tunavaa gumboot na tunavaa costume. Ukivaa gumboot na costume, alafu wanaweka meza juu ya meza ingine, alafu unapanda juu ya meza kama umevaa costume na gumboot, alafu wanawaangalia. It used to happen in Kenya High School. When I was there, it happened to me. So unapanda hapo kwa meza, au wasichana wakubwa wanawaangalia. Na nakumbuka vizuri kulikuwa na wasichana wengine walikuwa wametoka ushago. Hawakuwahi vaa costume, and they had never worn costumes in their whole lives, and they had difficulties because they had never, hawakuwa wamejinyoa pia huko chini. So walikuwa na nywele mingi kwa pubic area. Walikuwa wanapanda pale juu, na hizo nywele zilikuwa zina peep, sort of zinatoka kwa costume. Alafu wale wasichana walikuwa wamepanga chapa chini, wanacheka. Walikuwa wanatuchekelea kwa sababu tulikuwa tunasimama pale na costume, uchi na nywele zinatoka around your pubic area. I'm telling you. And then there was this thing that used to happen also. Unaingia shule, mnaenda kuangaliwa kama mko na mimba. Kwa sanatorium, this is one of the most prestigious high schools, Kenya High School, where I went to, the Kenya High School. Walimu, huyo mama kwa sanatorium alikuwa anatufinya matiti. Unafinywa matiti, unafinywa tumbo. Matiti zilikuwa zinafinywa mpaka ukitoka hapo, I swear you used to be at least 1 or 2 weeks when you have pain around your breast. Na ukumbuke that was the time matiti zinaanza kuota. Unajua kwa wanawake matiti zinaanza kuota at that time. So imagine matiti yako ikiota, inafinywa. Wanafinya kuangalia kama uko na mimba, guys. It was horrible. So the layers of trauma that we got as girls, as growing up, now we are mothers. Some of those things have affected how we behave today as mothers. A lot of the reasons why we are not able to communicate with our children is that we are trying to use the same tactics that were put upon us to work with the younger generations, the Gen Z that we have here today. There is no way you're going to communicate with the Gen Z using the same tactics that were used to communicate with you when you are a young person. It's not going to work. And that is why we are losing our children. We are losing our young teenagers. I have teenagers. Mimi niko na 15-year-old child boy, na niko na mtoto ambayo pia ako 18, and my other daughter. And let me tell you guys, between the age of 9 up to 22, it is usually hell for parents. It's a hellhole for parents because you don't know what to do. Especially Generation Z. They come here, wanaenda kwa Google, wanakuuliza maswali, you can't counter them. They are going to be continuing to ask you questions na wanakuchallenge based on what they read. And remember, Generation Z also read, they do research. Wanakuapproach kama wamesha soma. When they come to you, they are talking to you from a point of knowledge. and they test you, they push you, they put you in a place where if you do not have emotional intelligence and you don't have your mental wellness in check, you find yourself unajibu na ujui kuongea na watoto vizuri. So naweza kuappeal, my appeal to parents, tafadhali, hata we mwenyewe as a parent, check yourself. Check yourself as a parent. Wewe mwenyewe vile unaongelesha watoto wako and the way you present yourself. Check yourself. It's so important that you do that, because the way that you are treated do the same things to our children, and we want to use the same gorilla tactics because our parents used gorilla tactics. Nawaambia walitumia gorilla tactics because ukichapwa na mshipi, unachapwa na mti wa mapera, unachapwa na nyaunyo. Those are gorilla tactics. So ukitaka kutumia the same gorilla tactics, unataka kuimpose on a Generation Z. Generation Z na akili zake ziko timamu, anafanya research. In our days, we never used to read as much as Generation Z. We never used to know much about therapy. We never used to know much about depression. We never used to know much about suicide. We never used to. Niko na hakika hapa, wengi wenu kama mlisema mmechoka na maisha, unataka kukufa, mama zenu ama baba zenu walikuwa wanawapatia kamba, enda umalize haraka haraka. Go and do it. They used to actually encourage us and tell us utoke kwa sababu kutoka kwako will give them peace. A lot of times, most of us were even told it is better for us not to exist because we are problems. And then there's also another big issue. Some of us gave birth when we were very young. Right now, we do not have the things that used to happen. A lot of the young women that I know we went to school with in primary school, walishika mimba tukiwa primary school. Wengi wetu walizaa tukiwa watoto. A lot of us gave birth wakiwa 16, 17, 18 years old. That is a child. Na sasa ni mtoto ambaye lazima sasa pia alinde mtoto. Mtu akizaa akiwa between the ages of 13 mpaka akiwa 22 ama 21, huyo ni mtu ambaye bado hajakomaa vizuri kukua mwanamke na kulinda mtoto. Bado you are not okay to be able to take care of a child. So a lot of us either got married because of situations in our lives, or we got pregnant because we did not get proper sex education and exposure to protect ourselves from having early marriages and having early children. So there's a child somewhere who gave birth when she was 16, 17, 18, anaza akiwa na hiyo trauma yote. Imagine you are 17 and you're giving birth to a child. And apart from giving birth to this child, unazaa na mtu ambaye amekukataa, amekureject. Amesema hiyo mimba sio yake. Kwa sababu mara mingi mlikuwa mnaona wale wanawake wadogo, wasichana walikuwa wanatoka shule, wanaachishwa shule. Hao ndio walikuwa wanabaki wanafichwa kwa maboma wanazaa. Lakini wale vijana ambao waliwapatia mimba walikuwa wanaendelea na shule. Vijana walikuwa wanaendelea na shule, lakini amekupatia mimba. Wewe utawacha shule, unabaki pale kwa boma, unatusiwa na wazazi, unatusiwa na villagers, unatusiwa na schoolmates kwamba uli drop out of school ukashika mimba. Unabeba mimba ambayo iko na machungu na matusi. By the time you're giving birth to this child, you already hate that child. Uko na chuki na mtoto. Kwa sababu mtoto amefanya ukatusiwa, ukafanyiwa machungu na ukatendewa mabaya na watu. So huyu mtoto unamzaa ndio kwa sababu lazima utamzaa. Hauna njia, lakini unamzaa na unamwangalia kama ni the source of your pain. Mtoto ni the source of your pain. You look at this child as the source of your pain. You look at this child as a child that has changed the trajectory of your life. So naturally, the thing that you're supposed to give to a child as a mother, which is love, is gone. Because already you have built half hate in your heart and in your mind. And that is what you're going to project on that child. So that hate, hata kama hujaiongea, utaionyesha. Mtoto akilia, haumbebi. Mtoto akiwa mchafu, haumuoshi. Mtoto amepupu, you don't change the child. Unamwacha anachomeka na mavi. Haujali mtoto. Mtoto akiwa na njaa haumpatii chakula kwa sababu uko na uchungu. Una project your rage, your anger onto a child who has nothing to do with it, because of the trauma that you went through, and you never took care of that trauma. And that is happening to many of us here on this platform. A lot of us are going through the same. You see the children that you had when you were younger as this reason why your life has changed. The reason why you could not continue with your school. The reason why you are not a doctor today. The reason why you are not a lawyer today. The reason why you don't have earning today. The reason why you are struggling today. The reason why you had to get married as a third, fourth or fifth wife. The reason why you are married to an older man. Because that child changed the trajectory of your life. And then there is rejection that comes with that. Yule mwanaume ambaye alikukataa, alikupatia mimba akakukataa. Wewe sasa hizo vitu zote zinakuaffect, inakufungia. Unajiona kama mtu ambaye hapendwi, haezi akapendeka. So you also choose not to move on. You don't give yourself an opportunity to be loved again. You don't put yourself out there to be seen as a person that is worthy to be loved again. And you don't take care of your needs, either carnal, physical, emotion, because you think that already you've been written off. And so all these layers of trauma, they have contributed to our behavior as mothers, and how then we choose not to pay attention to the needs of the children that we have brought into this world. It's important for us as mothers to take care of our traumas. Let us take care of the pain that we have gone through when we were children, when we were younger. All the things that people did to us, the rejection, the rage, the anger, the self-esteem that was destroyed when we were younger. It's important for us to pay attention to these things and take care of these things. And then we are going to be creating safe and good environments to raise our children. And we are also going to create a pathway where we can communicate with our children in ways that we can come to a compromise and understand each other. It is the most difficult thing for some of us, but it is necessary. A lot of the things that people do on these platforms, or even the way we behave out here, is as a result of the things that we have gone through when we were younger. Some of us think of ourselves as failures because we have refused to overcome the pain that we have gone through growing up and the things that people have done to us. And that is why sometimes you guys, you question and say, Diana Ross is also a bully. No, I'm fighting back. A lot of the times when you allow people to bully you into silence and you become scared of bullies, they take that power away from you. That is why I counter bullying with bullying, because bullies can actually change your life. Bullies can change the trajectory of your life. We have seen bullies take women to the ground. Nimewambia hapa. When we were on Facebook, we saw women die. More than 6 women died on Facebook because of bullying. They chose not to speak up. They chose not to fight. That is why they decided to give up, and then they took out their lives because they didn't want to be a part of it anymore. It happened. There are a lot of things that happened when we were on Facebook. A lot of you are seeing things on TikTok, but Facebook, there was violence on Facebook that you cannot even comprehend. Kwa Facebook, tuliona mtu akiwa bullied mpaka mume wake anajitoa uhai, alafu yeye pia anaenda anajitoa uhai. Those are things that happened when you walikuwa Facebook. Ninadanganya ama ni uongo? Watu walikuwa na bully mpaka bwana za watu. Mpaka bwana za watu wanajitoa uhai. Imagine people on Facebook bullying somebody's husband mpaka bwana ya mtu anajitoa uhai kwa sababu ya wanawake. Na apart from that, kuna bullying nyingine ilifanyika, bwana akajitoa uhai, mwanamke akakuwa bullied akajitoa uhai, watoto wakabaki. Guys, that is the reason why you see me coming out strong and countering bullying. I never attack, I only defend. I always just defend, because I have learned how deeply the words and the behavior on people on social media can put you to the ground. Mimi singekuwa alive hapa leo, I would be dead. Singekuwa hapa leo if I never fought back. If I never went through the therapies I went through here in this country, and I am lucky to be alive today. I am lucky to be alive today. Very lucky. Because people are dangerous. I'm lucky to be alive. That is why I react the way I react, because I do not want to create any opportunity to go back to the darkness. Hi, Liz Ryan. It is the words that you say, the things that you do. Somebody goes and creates a lie. Hapa kwa hii platform, a lot of you think that nilienda ati Diana Ross aliwahi kuaccuse mtu of kumrape. Guys, do you know that is a lie? Munajua hiyo story ni uongo? That never happened. It never ever happened. There is nobody that I ever put in jail for rape. Hata moja. It was a lie. And somebody went and created a pseudo account on Facebook and then started the lie. And that lie became the truth that some of you still talk about mpaka here. Ukiuliza mtu hata mmoja hapa alete hata anywhere pali kulikuwa na mtu amewahi pelekwa jela na Diana, hakuna mtu atakuletea. Kwa sababu hakuna. There is no record of that anywhere. So I know how many lies people can say and how much people can create lies and make it their truth. That is how social media works. And sometimes it is so collective that if you're not careful, kama hauna nguvu, if you don't have the strength to counter it, utaumia. Na nimesema hapa, kama huyo Waridi yuko, Waridi can come here and testify aseme pali babake aliwahi pelekwa jela. I'm saying it, I've never said it, I've never mentioned her name. Nimesema Waridi because she's on TikTok. Kama babako aliwahi shikwa kwa sababu ya Diana, I ask you and I dare you, come here and say it in front of people. That is how lies travel, guys. And that is how you end up destroying someone because of a lie. And it's done in groupings. Groups. So aside from that, I wanted to talk about this issue of Nyaboke and her daughter. Guys, let me tell you something. Yes, her friends have come out. Yes, her friends have sent me a lot of information. But personally, I am not going to put out that information. I'm not going to put it out because, first of all, somebody has died. Putting out that information, coming to discuss everything here, is not going to bring that little girl back. It's not going to bring her back. What I can tell the friends or any other Generation Z friends who are watching this live today, when a friend may reach out to you when they are still alive, try and look for people who can help. When a friend has reached out to you, kama rafiki yako amekuja kwako, amekukujia, amekuambia, kuna shida, mama yangu ananifanyia hii na hii, baba yangu ananifanyia hii na hii, as a friend, the best you can do is try and find help for them. Try and find help for them. Or when you get that information, talk about it at that time. Because when you do that, you are saving a stitch. You are doing what is called a stitch in time saves 9. Right now, talking about this little girl, coming to say about everything she went through is not going to bring her back to life. Guys, she's gone. She's dead. The conversations we need to have here are between us and amongst ourselves. Kama wanawake as parents, and the role we play as parents in putting our children in places where their mental health is not okay. That is the responsibility that we need to take as parents here today. What is your role as a parent in contributing towards the mental wellness of your child? Na hii issue yenye tunaongelelea sana kila siku Kenya on the issue of LGBTQI. We know very well that a lot of us grew up in a religious setting We grew up in religious settings where we are taught that a man is supposed to be with a woman. Penis is supposed to go inside of vagina, not anything else. Tulifundishwa kwa makanisa, mapastors wakatuambia vile mwanamke hawezi kupenda mwanamke mwenzake, mwanaume hawezi kupenda mwanaume mwenzake. And the government has also made it worse by actually refusing to legalize gay marriages in Kenya. The reason why we are here today and we are having a lot of teenagers and young people wanaamua kujitoa uhai kwa sababu wako LGBTQI in Kenya ama in Africa, specifically Kenya, ni kwa sababu government peke yake first of all ime contribute to it, because serikali yenyewe imeamua to stereotype, because LGBTQI are a minority group in Kenya. The LGBTQI are a minority group in Kenya, and that is the truth. And we are refusing to recognize the minority group, and we are refusing to recognize the traumas that they are going through as a minority group because they are not recognized legally in our constitution. The Constitution of Kenya actually recognizes, okay, everybody and all Kenyans, but then they refuse. The Kenyan government has refused up to today to legalize gay marriages in Kenya. And that is so problematic because it contributes to the stereotype, the stigma, and the hate that is happening to gay folks in Kenya. Kwa sababu tunaona ya kwamba tunafaa kutumia ile Biblia. Tunatumia Biblia. The Bible is actually setting a lot of, groundwork for how people make decisions in Kenya. Even our own constitution, even our own government and our penal code relies so much on religion and the Bible, which is wrong. We don't need to do that. We need to allow people to be who they want to be. People should be able to love whoever they want to love. Why are we invested so much in knowing what somebody or what anybody is sleeping with? It is their body. A lot of the reasons why sisi tuko hapa na shida ni kwa sababu mnaambiwa ati Biblia haitaki. The Bible says it's wrong. We should not do this thing. It is not right. Ati Biblia, Mungu, we are waiting for punishment from God. Na wengine wanaenda kuchomeka hell. That is the thing. Let me come back. None. That is the reason why we are struggling today. Because most of us have been taught things from a religious point of view. Kwa hivyo uko na chuki kwa sababu Biblia yako imekuambia mwanamke hafai kupendwa na mwanamke mwenzake, mwanaume hafai kupenda mwanaume mwenzake. So unaanza kuchukia mtu kwa sababu wewe unaona ya kwamba wewe unapendana na mwanaume na wewe ni mwanamke, so you are in a better place. And that is what is happening. That is the stigma. These are the conversations we need to have. Dear parents, let me tell you something. Today when we are talking about sex education, because sex education is very vital. A lot of you don't talk about sex with your children. Sex education, when you are having sex education, because sex education should begin at 9 years. Ukiwa na watoto ambao ni wachanga, anza kuongelesha juu ya sex 9 years. Any parent should start teaching sex education from 9 years. In Kenya especially. Kwa sababu at 9 years mtoto amekomaa vizuri, umuongeleshe kuhusu mwili yake na the changes in their body. And sex education begins when you talk about the changes in your child's body. Talk to your children about the changes in their bodies and everything that is happening in their bodies. You begin sex education by acknowledging and identifying the changes in your child's body. You need to talk to them about their body. Talk to them about what is yet to come. Kama matiti imeanza kuoka, unawaelezea the things they are going to go through. Talk to them about a period that is yet to come and has not come. Talk to them about the period pain, the cramps. Talk to them about sex, the feelings, the attraction towards the opposite sex or attraction towards other women and men. Talk to your children. A lot of you, when it comes to sex education, you don't talk to your children about LGBTQI. You just talk to them about penis and vagina, but hamuongeleshi watoto wenu kuhusu LGBTQI. You don't talk to your children about masturbation. Unakataa kuongelesha mtoto wako kuhusu masturbation na watoto wanajiguza peke yao. Your children are touching themselves. Let me tell you. They are doing it. And when you don't talk to them, ule msichana umeandika kazi pale kwa nyumba, ataanza kuwaongelesha na pia anawaguza. That is what is going to happen. Because when you refuse to open a channel for conversation, a child will find another way to find that conversation. And that is what is happening to Generation Z sahi. Gen Z wanaenda kwa Google, wanakuja kwa TikTok. Gen Z wanaingia kwa inboxes za watu and they are having conversations with them. That is what is happening. So you need to get that courage before you educate your child. First of all, educate yourself as a parent. Wewe kama mzazi unafaa kujielimisha kwanza kabla hujaelimisha mtoto wako. Wewe kama mzazi unajijua mwili yako, unajitambua mwili yako. Do you know the changes in your body as a parent? Do you read about the human anatomy, the body, and the changes that happen to our children when they are getting into puberty? Do you understand the changes? Do you know what happens when a girl is growing and anaanza kukua na matiti, anaanza kukua na period? Do you know what happens to her hormones? Can you talk to your children about these things? Unaweza kuweka mtoto chini, umuongeleshe mtoto, umwambie the importance of using protection, especially your sons. Kwa sababu kuna wazazi hapa, vijana hao wanapatia wasichana wadogo mimba, lakini hawataki kuwaongelesha. You don't want to talk to your sons about erections. You don't want to talk to your sons about wet dreams. Your sons are having wet dreams. All you can do is to do their laundry, but you don't talk to them. When your son is having wet dreams, sit your son down. Talk to your son. Tell them what happened to them. Muongeleshe. Mwambie hiyo sio makojo. Mtoto ajue hiyo ni nini. Talk to your child. Tell them what that is. If it is sperm, it is sperm. Tell them where it is coming from and why it is coming. You need to talk to your children. Talk to your children about being attracted to other or the opposite sex, or being attracted to men and or other women or girls. Watoto wenu mumewaeka kwa darkness. Alafu watoto wakifanya mambo mnaanza kuja kulia. You need to talk to your sons. Talk to your sons about the proper use of condoms. Chukua carrot, nunua condom. Kaa chini na kijana yako mwenye ako sexually active, muoneshe vile condom inavalishwa kwa carrot. Use a carrot. Teach your child. Ndio mtoto ajue. Because a lot of these teenagers are having sex, my dear. Whether you like it or not. Teenagers are having sex. Watoto wana have sex. Let me tell you. In Kenya alone, when we talk about HIV prevalence in Nyanza and Western Kenya, when we talk about HIV prevalence, the rate of infections among teenagers in Nyanza, okay? Na ninawaambia hapa, endeni muangalie, the statistics is there. At least 3 each day wanakuwa infected na HIV. Na mko hapa mnasema eti hamtaki kuongelesha teenagers kuhusu sex. You gotta talk to your teenagers about sex. Teach your sons about using condoms. Because your son is having sex with teenage girls. Na hatumi condom. Is it better for you to deal with a son who knows how to wear a condom and is free from disease than you dealing with a son that has impregnated another person, another child, teenager? Do you want to deal with a pregnant teenager, or you want to deal with a son that knows that they can actually wear a condom? Moderator, I will block who you find here. Ana nisumbua na nini comments zenye hazi make sense block this person who you find here. You need to talk to your sons, because your sons are having sex with the teenagers. Tuseme kweli. Mki complain about sex and teenagers, you need to hii story ya studs ya studs na sijui nini. You guys, these are all teenagers. Angalieni studs wenye wanakuja hapa kupose hapa kwa TikTok. Look at them. They are young. Where are the parents? Talk to them. You gotta talk to your teenagers about sex. And when you do so, don't forget to talk about contraceptives. You have to talk to them also about sex toys. Because sex toys exist in the sex world today. Unajifanya ati utaki kuongelesha mtoto wako juu ya dildo. Watoto wanatumia dildos. They do. Your children are going to Pornhub. Your children are accessing porn sites. And you are here pretending that you don't want to talk to them about it. Ati unataka kuongelesha mtoto kuhusu period. Ati unamwambia ati kwetu unachukua always, unaweka kwa suruali na unavaa na unaoga na sabuni na unakuwa safi. My friend, that is not enough. You gotta talk to your child about how her body and how her vagina will feel before the period and after the period. Because the bodies usually zinakuanga na mioto before the period na after the period. Mtoto anashangaa ni kwa nini anataka aingize mkono yake kwa kuma yake. Mtoto anashangaa kwa nini. Na wewe hutaki kumuongelesha. Mnakuja hapa mnasema eti why are we talking to our teenagers about eti kujiguza? My friend, your children are touching themselves whether you like it or not. Are you not better having a child who is aware of what they are doing than you not having a child mwenye hajui kitu anafanya? Kwa nini unafikiria kwa hospitali tunapata watoto wasai hapa kwa hospitali wanaletwa kama wameingiza mpaka vikombe kwa kuma? Kwa sababu their parents never taught them. Yes, so they are trying things. Anaangalia, nimeingiza kidole kwa kuma. Hebu niangalie, nimeingiza kalamu. Imeingia. Nimeingiza mwiko. Imeingia. Nimeingiza cucumber. Imeingia. Next, anajaribu kuingiza kikombe. Yes, wanaingizanga mpaka blow dryer. Wenye wanafanya hospitali tumeona. Watoto, kuna mwingine aliletwa na kikombe, ameingiza kikombe kwa kuma. We had to remove. Because you don't talk to your children. Because when you're talking to your children about sex, you need to tell them that first of all, sex is not a bad thing. If you demonize sex to your children are going to try to find ways of understanding it better, because wewe ume demonize. Sex is not a bad thing, so don't demonize it. Don't make your children look at sex as a bad thing. Teach your children the right things about sex. Teach them the beauty of sex. Tell them that it's a beautiful thing. Positively talk about sex. Don't talk about sex negatively, because that is where the problem begins. A lot of you like to talk to your children na warnings. Usishike mimba. Nikikupata na mimba wewe utaona. Utashangaa. Don't get pregnant. Hiyo ni chakula ya watu wakubwa. Guys, that is the reason why some of you mko stuck. Because you don't talk to them openly about these issues. Communicate with your children. As parents, it's important that you communicate with your children. Talk to your children about everything. Listen to your children. Now, Ambia, it's not easy to deal with teenagers, but you have to find ways of countering and finding issues that you can pay attention to their problems. It's so important that you do so. When you're talking about sex, you've got to talk about everything, including sexually transmitted diseases. Na hizi vitu zinaendanga na stages na age. Very, very important. Kwa sasa tuacheni Nyaboke aomboleze kwa sababu amepoteza mtoto. Kupoteza mtoto sio rahisi. Let us allow her to go through this period of grief while we also reflect upon ourselves as parents and know our role in the lives of our children. Dealing with our teenagers with combat is a disservice to the teenagers, even to ourselves as parents. We need to find the right way to talk to our teenagers and our children. Communicate with them. Find ways of creating a compromise. Find ways of creating a good environment to communicate with your children. That is the only way you will know what's wrong with your children. It's the only way you will understand your children's pain and your children's needs. It's vital that we do that. And when somebody comes to you, whether it is your child or any other person, to share something that they are struggling with, reach out to them, find out what is wrong. You could be saving a life. It's important that we prioritize talking about mental health, mental illness on this platform, because these are issues that are real. Another thing we need to normalize is that death by suicide is a way of death. We should remove all the guards and the stigma we have around suicide. People have died by suicide for many, many reasons. Sometimes it's because they just don't want to continue living. It has nothing. Most of the times, it's because of other issues that are underlying. But suicide is not something that should make anyone be labeled. It's a way of death. We need to normalize that people can actually take their lives. But another conversation we need to normalize is the fact that mental issues and mental illness are things that contribute to suicide. So what is your role as an individual? What are you doing to help alleviate mental illness and mental torture to another person? What is your role when it comes to mental issues? It's important that we talk about these things yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I hope that everybody here can go back and reflect on our behavior and our character, and we see what role are we playing in our family setup and the spaces that we're existing when we talk about suicide. Again, I will convey my condolences to Nyaboke Moraa. I hope that you do find a support system that will be with you through this difficult time. To the daughter ambaye ameaga, marafiki zake, guys, I have received your messages. I am sorry. I am not going to use my platform to do or put out those messages or to talk about the issues that you people have shared with me, because I feel it's not helpful. I'm not going to do that. And I hope that all of you can sit down as her friends and you reflect upon your role that you played when this girl was alive and the failures that you may have had because you had an opportunity to share her pain, her anguish, and her agony when she was alive. Maybe today we would have found solution for her. But because you chose not to talk about it, then hizi vitu sasa zinakuja sahi hazisaidii. Sawa. Asanteni sana guys, team tappers and all the gifters. And today, just take your time. Think about it as a parent. What role do you play in the lives of your children? How many times have you failed? Can you find compromise? Are you a support system to your children? Are you helpful? Are you toxic? Do you need therapy? It is okay for you to find therapy as a parent. There's no shame in admitting that there's something wrong with you. Get that therapy, because only when you're well can you be able to take care of other people. Create good and healthy environments for your children to thrive. Thank you very much everyone for coming to this live. Thank you team tappers and all those that had gifted me, and thank you my able moderators for protecting this live, and TikTok again. Thank you so much for allowing a conversation on suicide, mental health and mental illness to continue without interruption. I beg to leave and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you very, very much. Take care of yourselves.
So thank you so much guys for viewing this video. Thank you for watching to the end. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and put on the notification bell so that you're not notified anytime I post a new video. Thank you so much, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Goodbye.